Gentlemen, it is an honor to have a chance to speak with the three of you together. Legends. Legends from Canada, legends from music, representatives of the Great White North. When you think about what you guys have done, what are we looking at here? 96, 2000, 20 some odd years.
25.
25 years. Amazing. Did you ever think that you guys would A, stay together, and B, create the kind of music that you have done? And like I said, it truly is a representation of the Canadian music landscape.
I honestly can't say that I thought we would do anything except just keep going forward, keep making music. You know, that was sort of clear to me from the outset that that was something larger than any of us, and that it was going to happen, whether, you know, we were into it or not, it was going to happen.
But what brought you guys together back then, and what's kept you together after all these years?
We have a common love of one of the great Canadian songwriters, Willie P. Bennett, who was a big part of our first couple records. Our first album was a tribute to him, doing his songs, and he lived until 2008, and for all of his life he was our great friend, and in a lot of ways keeping together is because we love playing together, and we always kind of thought that if our love of playing together ended up around some kitchen table, that would be fine, and if there are people there to listen, that'd be great too.
But how do you think your voice, meaning, of course, the lyrics, the music itself, has changed over the years for yourselves, and especially because you look at 25 years ago, music has changed a lot.
We started singing 25 years ago, honestly, with true love in our hearts, and I can say that it is the one common thread that has run through 25 years and is still going on now. We don't really create music. We don't think about creating music anywhere past our own enjoyment and what resonates with us. And our honesty is the one thing that always leads us.
You know, I want to jump in there. Do you think that music today still has that honesty, or are we still searching for that?
Well, I'm kind of the wrong guy to ask. I don't know. I'm in a position where I don't really judge other people's visions of how art should be created or perceived. So I'm kind of a useless guy to answer that.
I wouldn't say that. But do either one of you have an answer for that?
I don't know. I honestly, it's hard to comment on sort of music today. No doubt there are people out there that are looking around, looking for something honest, looking for some authentic thing. Absolutely, for sure. It's, it's sort of the idea that, older musician might kind of pronounce on younger music. I don't know how valid that is.
Yeah, and I agree with you with that too. But I think it speaks volumes when you guys are down at Nashville and you're making some headlines down there. What is it like performing down there? What is it like writing down there? Especially because for a lot of people don't realize it, these days Nashville is the place to go for songwriting, and it doesn't matter what genre you're at.
Well, I've lived in Nashville for the last 22 years, so it's changed a lot in the last couple of decades. One thing that stayed the same is a tremendous respect for the calling of being a musician, the calling of being a songwriter, the calling of being someone who makes records. And so it's a place where you can have a really good life as a musician. It's not as expensive as other music centers, and in some ways that really makes a lot of difference. People will kind of let you alone to do what you do. It's a smaller town. It's much smaller than Toronto, much smaller than New York or Los Angeles. So I think there is an environment where the bar is very, very high in terms of the quality and the commitment to being a professional musician, professional artist in music. And I think that people are always kind of on the lookout for something new and exciting and inspiring. And I think there's been plenty of great music. There's plenty of great music when we moved down there, and there's plenty of great music there now.
And great music is this new album that you guys have done too. Heart so raw, dripping with stories, and it just gives you this goosebump shakes. What was the thought when you guys got together to do this? Where were you guys career-wise and songwriting-wise, to create what you guys have done with this album?
Oh, we work pretty hard individually on what we do creatively on our own time. I think that is a pretty good place, pretty good starting point for us as individuals to come together as a band, because I think that, it's kind of like, if you asked me to run 5 miles right now, I would probably tell you to piss off, right? But if you gave me a year to work on that, and then you asked me to run 5 miles, I'd say, yes, I'll do that for you. What can I get you at the store when I get there? And with this, it's like we work so hard as individuals that by the time we get to Blackie and the Rodeo Kings, it's pretty easy to integrate our ideas with one another, pretty easy to accept one another's ideas, and we know each other well enough that we know what we might be bringing to the table when we do write songs together.
So I want to get into that.
Yeah.
Each of you are writing songs individually. You're bringing it together. What is that like, and how do you go through the process of going, these are going to be the songs that are going to represent this group today?
It's always a different thing for me. I always feel like these guys have loads of songs in the hopper, that they're constantly writing. For me, it's kind of like what's coming down the pike. That's what I'm writing for. And I mostly just want to bring something to the table that pushes me as a writer, but I'm trying to bring something that I think these guys are going to love and dig. That's what I really want to bring. And furthermore, I feel like, on the one hand, this band, it has gotten better, but when I listen to some of the early stuff, I'm amazed at how strong it was from the get-go. So what I realize is actually I've gotten better as an individual. My songwriting, my playing, everything has gotten better, and it's mostly just so that I can fill the boots that I have in this band, because they're pretty big boots. It's a pretty good band to be a part of.
Absolutely. What are some of the stories that we're talking about here with this album? And something, and I want to jump into what you just said too, because personally myself, and again, not knocking music today or in the 2000s, but I just feel like the 90s was really the last time we really had those good stories from groups. And you guys have always been consistent throughout that whole time. What are the stories today?
Well, in a lot of ways, the doing something for a long period of time, we've been doing this as individuals. We've been playing music for, Tommy and I've been knowing each other for 44 years at this point. That's a long time. And the amount of time that you put into it, it kind of validates to a certain degree the things that you felt were right in the first place, the things that you hoped you could achieve, that you aspired to. Some of them you might have made, and some of them you're still scrapping for to get, and the bar changes too. You keep on wanting to go further, and it's a rediscovering process all the time. So it's that, every day that when we play, get on the stage, try and get a good tone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you guys have Medicine Hat. That's the video that's out right now. What's the song about?
You can ask these guys. They wrote it.
They wrote it, okay.
Yep.
Blood Memory.
Yeah, Blood Memory, 15,000 years of indigenous people living on this land. And what did a love story look like back then? That's what this is kind of about. It's a bit of time traveling. It's about respecting the past, and I'm not talking about the past when, although ships came over from Europe, I'm talking about the true past of North America, when people were able to love freely in the indigenous world. So that it's a bit of a love song. It's a bit of a timeless love song for me. And we named it Medicine Hat because, isn't it that's the coolest goddamn name you ever heard in your life?
No argument there, my friend. To hear this great music, are you guys back on the road? Will you guys be touring? What's happening?
There's summer festivals coming up, and then really we hit it hard in October, November. So we'll be going pretty much coast to coast and playing a whole lot of dates.
Looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
Look, back in the day, we never talked about this, but today we have to talk about social media is the place to follow you guys. Where do we go to follow you?
Blackie and the Rodeo Kings.
Everywhere. Yeah.
There we go.
We tweet, we
We Instagram.
we
Facebook.
we book,
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I got to say again, it is definitely an honor to get a chance to speak to you guys together. In fact, I think over the last 30 years since I've done this, I've talked to you guys individually. I don't think we've ever done this together. So
thank you.
it took 30 years. I hope it doesn't take another 30 years to talk to you guys again.
Wouldn't it be nice if we were actually all around 30 years to do
Yeah.
it? But hopefully we'll see each other a few times between now and then.
Gentlemen, thank you again for the
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you.
man.
Thank you.